Hey there, YouTube. It's your boy B3, back with another kicking TV reaction review. Today we are reviewing what at the time is the most recent MCU miniseries, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yes, I know I reviewed WandaVision the day the finale came out. I could not do that this time. As my longtime viewers may know, I live in a very rural area, so I don't have good enough internet to stream. I literally cannot get it. So I usually watch streaming shows at Big Boy Chungus's place, and we were watching this one episode a week on like Sundays. So I had to avoid spoilers for like a day and a half. Or more like 2 days. Yeah, I had to avoid spoilers for 2 days. And then there were a couple weeks where I didn't go to his house, and he just watched them without me, even though he said he wouldn't. I'm calling you out, Big Boy Chungus. I told you not to watch them. It's my account. It's fine. So yeah, I had to wait a while. But, dog wants to come in, but I'm already recording. So, now here we are with a review of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. First off, I want to give you the themes. It is about how African Americans are treated in the United States, and also about how the United States treats its veterans. Spoiler, the United States doesn't treat either well. Not that funny. Or funny at all. But yeah, this show follows Sam Wilson after Endgame. He's been given the shield by Old Man Cap, who came back to give him the shield and then went back to the other timeline where he lives with Peggy or whatever. And we have Falcon with the shield. He decides to give it up, and Bucky gets pretty mad at him for that. They already weren't really good friends. You remember they didn't really like each other in Civil War and stuff. And Bucky's also trying to make amends for his past deeds because he's kind of been deprogrammed. You see, he's been deprogrammed, so he's not really the Winter Soldier anymore. But The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a better title than The Falcon and a guy named Bucky. So, you got that. But also, we have a new Captain America that comes about. The government takes the shield when Sam gave it up and gives it to this other soldier who Sam and Bucky think is a jerk, and he really turns out to not be worthy of it. As there's going to be heavy spoilers in this review, by the way. As many of you know, he becomes U.S. agent, just as he did in the comics. But he does kind of get some redemption, a little bit of redemption at the end of the show. But still, he's going to be more like a more brutal, kind of Black Ops Captain America, which will be pretty cool. I think that'll be fun to see because he's just U.S. agent at the end of the show, and so he's going to go on to do that story. The arc with the Revolutionaries was wrapped up, but the arc with the Power Broker was not. Turns out in the show that Agent Carter is the Power Broker. It was a bad reveal. I'm not going to lie. Sharon Carter being the Power Broker was a bad reveal, and if you really think about it, it was pretty obvious for pretty much the whole show, or at least all the parts that she was in. That being said, I did not guess it was her, because I was expecting a more comic-accurate Power Broker. But I'm glad we didn't get a comic-accurate Power Broker, because Shannon being Power Broker and then being given a full pardon at the end for her quote-unquote treason in Civil War and her being brought back into the government, but she's going to be a villain, like undercover in the American government. That's going to be really cool. Can't wait to see where that goes. She'll probably be a big villain for Sam Wilson, Captain America, going forward, which is really interesting. So I'd be really happy to see that, to be honest. And I think it'll be pretty cool. Sam does become Captain America in the end, obviously, which I've been so stoked to see him in costume since the end of Endgame, because I fucking loved Sam Wilson as Captain America in the comics. Eventually, on the main channel, I review comic books on the main channel and graphic novels and stuff. On the main channel, I'm going to review the Sam Wilson Captain America Complete Collection stuff on that channel. If you want to check that out, subscribe. The channel's called Godzilla and Gigan. Link in the description below. All right. So, we get a lot of redemption for Bucky. We get to see Shannon go bad, and we also get the return of my favorite MCU villain. Yeah, everyone's always like Loki, Thanos, but nah. In my mind, the best MCU villain is Baron Zemo. He is dope. I love him. I think I like MCU Baron Zemo way more than comic Baron Zemo, because comic Zemo's pretty much a Nazi, and hard to really like that. but I really liked seeing more of Zemo in this. He is a great villain, best villain in the MCU in my opinion. And it was nice to see him again. He survived the show, so perhaps we'll see him yet again. That would make me very, very happy. And we finally got to see him with a mask on, even if it really was for just one scene. He had kind of a Baron Zemo, the purple mask on. I've always liked that mask. Don't know why, I've just always liked the Baron Zemo mask. My favorite color is purple, and I really like characters who have most of their facial features hidden, and that mask is basically just eyes. And I don't know, I think characters with most of their facial features hidden are just cool and mysterious. I don't know. Yeah, the show was really good. I actually really liked the lighting. I know I don't normally go into lighting too much, but it was lit in a way that made it look like natural lighting, but without the problems that causes for film. But it was still like very controlled, but it looked like natural lighting, which was really cool. They found a lot of dope locations to shoot. I thought the costume designs for everyone were really cool. Bucky's was just kind of clothes, but he got rid of the Winter Soldier, so he doesn't have that. He doesn't do that outfit anymore. So yeah, he just kind of had some really fly-looking blue clothes on, and Falcon's new Falcon suit was really dope. But then his cap suit was incredible. It looked pretty much right out of the comics. A lot of extra detailed in the comic suit, but it pretty much looked right out of the comics. I really liked the training montage that he did when he got the shield back also. Just the suspense this show built up. So many parts had you on the edge of the seat. There's one scene where Baron Zemo is giving children candy in exchange for information, and it feels so tense because you're like, this guy's kind of a villain. Is he going to hurt these kids? And it kind of does make you feel like he might. Just these MCU miniseries are so fucking incredible. They really are. They absolutely are. I don't know if it's because they're longer or if it's because they're maybe just allowed to do more on streaming. But the characters and the stories are far better fleshed out than the movies. They just, both WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier are better than any single MCU movie. And I stand by that opinion. Like, as much as I love, like, Iron Man and Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and Civil War, and Avengers Endgame, etc., as much as I really love those movies, these shows are incredible. This one was more of an action show than WandaVision. Remember, WandaVision only had one action-y episode, and for some reason that episode won an award for best, like, fight scene or something, even though it wasn't a very good fight scene, and WandaVision just got the award because it was the more popular show. and not because it had a good fight scene, because it really didn't. It had a cool ending to the fight scene, and Vision's fight was just philosophy. So, yeah, we shouldn't be talking about WandaVision, though. We should be talking about Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Fantastic show. Acted very well, cast very well. I don't have much to really say on the negative end of this show. I expected it to be much more action heavy than it was, because WandaVision, as I said earlier, had basically no action. And then this show, you go into it, and there's a lot of action in the first episode, and you're like, okay, so this is going to be much more action heavy, and it is, but most of the show is still just drama, which, of course, I love. Characters will be developed better in those scenes than in action scenes. Not that someone can't be developed more in an action scene. It's just hard and actually takes away from the action itself. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier is really good. Obviously, extremely expensive. Had that blockbuster movie quality CGI and all these returning actors, and it had quite the budget. They did not downscale the budget for this. And one thing I also really like about these miniseries is that they actually have a big impact on the MCU. Because if you look back at other MCU shows, like Agent Carter and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and whatever the fuck Inhumans was supposed to be, they don't have big impacts on the MCU because they were on like network television and ran not only for full seasons but several. I don't know how many seasons Agent Carter had, but Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had several, even though it sucked ass. I didn't get through season 1. It was that bad, I thought. But these are really good. I guess because they're mini-series and because they're on streaming and pretty much anyone can watch them at any time because they're so readily available that they were just like, screw it. Plus, they're also using some of their big movie characters, and I know that there are newer characters that are going to be coming into it, like She-Hulk and Miss Marvel and etc. Moon Knight. Moon Knight's getting one, right? Yeah. All of them are coming. But these have had huge impacts on the MCU. WandaVision brought a whole new Vision into the MCU who is still running around. And obviously it's going to very heavily connect to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, where I'm still holding firm on my opinion from the WandaVision review that she is going to be a big villain in that movie. I'm still holding firm to that. And then in this one, we got Sam as Captain America. Hell yeah. We got U.S. Agent now running around. Shannon Carter as Power Broker, now just going to be straight up stealing government tech and secrets. Pretty cool stuff. I actually, because right before the last episode started, I was like, wow, we haven't wrapped up the U.S. Agent plot threads, the John Walker stuff. We haven't wrapped up the Revolutionaries, Flag Smashers plot threads. And we haven't wrapped up the Power Broker stuff. The only one we really wrapped up was kind of Zemo. So it was like, wow, they have a lot of ground to cover in the last episode. It might be almost 2 hours. And then it was about to start, and I saw it was 51 minutes. And I was like, oh, so a couple of these things aren't going to be resolved, and they're going to go into the larger MCU. Which was good, because Shannon Carter Power Broker stuff, if it would have been resolved within this show, it would have felt pretty cheap. And I kind of had the feeling U.S. Agent wouldn't be resolved within the show, especially when John Walker shows up in the last episode to fight alongside Cap and Bucky. Well, sort of. He doesn't go there intending to fight alongside with them, but kind of ends up fighting alongside with them, finally making the right choice for the first time since he was given the mantle, even though it was stricken from him at that point because of some things he did very publicly to someone. But yeah, it was nice to see him decide to finally make the right choice and kind of move towards redemption, even though he's not exactly there yet. But, you know, that's what the U.S. agent stuff in the future will probably be for. Then we're going in with all this just new stuff going on. But yeah, once I saw him in his regular outfit, and I was like, he's not changed into a more U.S. agent looking outfit. And I knew he would because I saw the Marvel Legend, and I was like, okay, well then that must carry over to something else. As soon as I saw that, I was like, that's going to carry over. Didn't have to wait till the end to know that. But I mean, that's basically my review for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I probably would have enjoyed it even more if the last 3 episodes weren't immediately spoiled for me on the days they came out. But yeah, it's a really great show. It's really 2 very relevant topics that unfortunately will probably always be very relevant as long as the United States exists. And maybe even beyond that, because we don't treat our veterans well. We don't treat African Americans well in this country. We just don't. And it's sad. But it's a really good show. It's incredibly well produced, written, directed. I feel like that these streaming shows, this is another thing I want to say, I feel like one reason they're better is because they're not cookie cutter. You're probably going to argue against this, but the MCU movies are cookie cutter as shit. They're all the fucking same. Thor, Iron Man, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, those are all the same fucking movie. They just are. They're all lit the same way. All the music in them, like the score, they all sound really similar to each other for the most part. Not the soundtrack, the score. There is a difference. They're just... And that's why lots of these movies, when they're in, like, pre-production, go through multiple directors. Like, I think Thor: The Dark World had multiple directors leave. I think Ant-Man had multiple directors and writers and stuff leave. Because just Disney and Marvel are like, you have to make it like every single other movie, and there's almost no there's almost no freedom for the director. But these... It feels like there really is, because there's such a stylistic difference between WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier and the movies themselves from the streaming shows. They're obviously getting a bit more... They're obviously allowed to be more creative with these miniseries, which I really like. This is a good show. It's a really... really good show. I liked it a lot, and I think you should definitely check it out if you haven't already. And if you haven't, I'm surprised you watched this far, because I gave you a big spoiler warning. But that is it. Thank you all very much. I've heard that Sam Wilson will be getting his own Captain America movies, which is cool, and we'll have to wait to see what's up with those. But I love me some Falcon Cap, so I can't wait. So that's it. Thank you all once again for your support, and I'll see you all next time.